Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. So today I like to share with you and complete the so-called internal Xu practice confusion. Now, in past a week or so, I have discussed with Wing Chun friends around the world who say that they practice internal Xu. And some of these friends even saying that they have mastered the Tai Chi, Qi and Jing. And some claim that they have this mind power and so forth. But I don't buy into all of those. So why don't I buy in? Am I just get arrogant? No, actually I don't buy into all those stories because one need to know the history of the Wing Chun Xu sets. And one need to know today's science already be able to verify whether one practice the internal of Xu sets or not. It is not about based on Hendrix. It is based on history, based on the traditional Chinese culture in internal training, and based on the verifications of science today. Okay? So put me out of the picture. And I'm going to tell you what happened, the history, the traditional Chinese martial art internal training, and the scientific verifications. So here on, this thing got to be end. See, we can keep running on just taking people's word. Oh, this is the grandmaster. This grandmaster teach me. And oh, I'm the grandmaster. I know Tai Chi too. I know internal art. So whatever I'm saying is right. No, you cannot say that. It is going to screw everybody. It's going to distort Wing Chun. That is the bottom line. We want to look into things in the positions or angle of like the university, like science and technology. It is not based on anybody's name or anybody's belief. And always it is easy to say this. Hey, you know, my teacher is this top grandmaster, known grandmaster. Thus, I know what I'm talking about. Or somebody will think, hey, you know, if I go learn from this grandmaster, then I will have the Kung Fu. Well, that's not the case, even since ancient time. Okay, so let's look into it historically. Historically, the Xu sets of 1850 have 4 parts. The first part is the internal training or development of the 6 core element as well as recorded. Okay? That first part. And later on, this first part can get modified. It gets modified into today's popular Xu sets. So the first part of the 1850s Xu set get then modified into today's popular Xu sets. And when in this modifications, thing changes. For example, in the 1850s Xu set part 1, there is no sun punch there. There is no sun punch. Okay, it has using different type of strike, but not sun punch. You can look into the entire part. There is no sun punch there, and sun punch was added in later on. Now, when the thing get modified from 1850 to today's sets become a training. It no longer is the internal Kung Fu development of the 1850s. Okay? That's for sure. You look at the concrete and you look at a lot of things, and you can see the thing. Now, so what is the difference between the 1850s, the Kung Fu, and today's sets? Technically, because obviously we know history is going this way, and we want to know technically what is going on. The 1850s, part 1 of Xu XiaoDung is a Gong, because as in my other videos, it is based on a recovery base of training. Recovery base. That's why it is based on, in Mandarin we say, 全身不可着力量，一任自然顺气脉。In English, 全身不可着力量 means the entire body must not apply any force. The entire body, breathing or mind or whatever, must not apply any force. 一任自然顺气脉 spontaneously, naturally follow the breathing and the flow of the qi channel. That is the core, the guts of the instructions of the practice, because it is a gong which is based on the recovery in today's sports term, recovery, or to get it more details is parasympathetic base. Okay? Now, when you get into today's Xu XiaoDung sets, you see all this clamping knees, this sun punch, and you see that when people practice, it is like very suffocating, and it squeeze all this and lifting endless. Those are sympathetic. Those are using strength type of practice. Okay? So you don't want to say good or bad, but it is technically two different types of stuff. Okay? So the 1850s is you don't use strength, you follow to the breathing and the flow of the channel. Okay? And that actually is according to all Qigong meditations or healing practice of the ancient Chinese, disregard of it is Buddhism, Taoism, or Confucian. That's what it is, or healing art, or six healing sound. It always based on that 全身不可着力量，一人自然顺脉气. Because in Tao Te Ching it said Tao mimic nature, Tao following nature. It's called Wu Wei, non-doing. You just flow with it. Okay? Now, today's Xu XiaoDung set, it had become a training. You have this sun punch, and you can see people clamping their leg, and then you can see the breathing. You can, sometimes they even try to prolong the breathing using mind power, all kind of stuff. It is no longer the same type of platform with the 1850s. So 1850 is the recovery type of platform, and today's is the training type of platform. Okay? It doesn't have any content of recovery. Now, so you can say, well, that's Hendrik, that's your words. You say that, okay? The history, the ancient Chinese, you just, for your convenience, you just pull all this data, okay, to fool us. No. Let me tell you this. This is a chest strap I wear outside. The chest strap. So chest strap can measure your heart rate variability. Analyze that, okay? This is be able to measure the heart rate. This is be able to measure the heart rate variability. And this one, be able to measure the breathing rate, respiratory rate or breathing rate. Now, as soon as one get to the recovery type of training, the heart rate will drop. The heart rate variability will rise up. The rate of breathing will slow down, will going down. The rate of breathing will going down. So, you want to do Xu Lim Tao, for example, you stand there, you look at the breathing. After your 7 bowls, and you get the 2C state, your mind quiet down. You use this, the heart rate variability to monitor it, analyze it. That is how, using today's sports science, you can verify if one is practiced the 1850s type of Xu Lim Tao, which is develop the internal gong, or just tense up this thing, lock up this thing, and then using force on the hand, which is a training. Okay. So training, heart rate variability. It can actually analyze it is a parasympathetic or sympathetic dominant. Breathing rate. You cannot get away. So when people told me they practice this Tai Chi, they know about Jing and Qi. Well, just get this thing and check it out. The 3 parameters. And if one tell me, which is as a few days ago, people tell me they practice Jing and Qi and have this Tai Chi internal and so forth. They have mastered that and so forth. My question for them is, how come when you practice, you can breathe? You can breathe. How come you're still doing sun punch in your Xu Lim Tao sets? Well, that's why I don't buy it. Why? You just put this strap on their body. It tell you right away it is internal or not internal. Okay? So this is the bottom line. It is as clear as it is now. It's not about which lineage, which grandmaster. No. Historically, Wing Chun is this way. This is how it evolved. The ancient Chinese culture on the Kung Fu development. This is how it is. And the modern sports science and fitness science, how they all can lump together now. Nobody can get out from this. It is a closed loop now. We can look at the thing like look into the fishbowl, the fish in the fishbowl. Okay. So I like to share with you this is because really study a culture, a technology, and to benefit from Chinese Kung Fu, it is very different than religions, where, my teacher is the middleman of the God, and I study with my teacher, who is the middleman, so I also the middleman of the God. And then because this teacher is the middleman of the God, then I study with him. I don't have to spend that much time. Oh no, the magic, the secret. No. In the reality, can you prove it with your heart rate variability and your breathing rate? Okay? That's how you count your breath. And if this is intentionally tense up, it will show up in your heart rate and heart rate variability that you are tensing it up. You no longer follow. The entire body must not apply effort, following the natural. So this is the reality already, okay? So it is not about 100. I'm just a messenger to tell you that based on all the research, we know this far now. We can handle this. Because we know this, we can know whether that person is training properly or not. Will him develop the internal art or not? Okay? And that's one thing, the last thing I want to share with you. Usually when people discuss on this internal so forth, there's a term in Chinese is called, in Cantonese, Gok Si Gok Fat. Gok Si Gok Fat is meaning, every teacher will have, a different teacher will teach different way. Different teacher will teach different way. For me, those Gok Si Gok Fat, one need to understand what is going on. Otherwise it becomes an alibi. When one has completely no idea what it is, one is just using that as an alibi to cover up one's clueless. Gok Si Gok Fat. Okay, it exists. Every teacher, because they are different, they teach different way. However, Gok Si Gok Fat is after one have attained the basic fundamental or foundations solidly. For example, if we go to study engineering school, okay, engineering school, disregard of anywhere in this world, if that guy is, say, studying mechanical engineering, they get a bachelor degree, everybody who graduated will talk the same language on mechanical engineering in terms of using mathematics to present things. Okay? Now, if you are doing a PhD, then your major professor might have different style of designing something. Okay? So the Gok Si Gok Fat, different teacher have different approach or way, is applied to if you're doing a PhD, a doctor degree, you're doing a research, and then your major professor have a different way of looking at things or design or the stuff. However, from the first year of the college to your graduate university, that basic foundation all has to be the same. Okay? That is what is the truth. So, when people discuss this so-called Internal Wing Chun SLT set, disregard of which grandmaster, if it is a proper thing, it will be presented the same with the college degrees, mechanical engineering as an example, okay? And only on top of that, then it comes saying, oh, my major professor want me to design this way. My major professor want me to do it this way. Well, that's completely valid. However, one cannot use the, my professor want to do it this way, my professor want me to design this way, to cover up for the clueless of the first 4 years of basic mechanical engineering understanding and mastering, okay? So it is a really serious stuff. And so today, I share with you the heart rate variability, the breathing rate. That is the fundamental. Check it, and nothing can be covered up. So this video is not against anybody, but just put a standard there. Hey, you know, if you want to make claim as grandmaster, champion, or whatever, you better pass the heart rate variability and respiratory rate tests. Okay? That's good for everybody. And that is honest to the ancestor, honest to the future generations. Otherwise, it becomes what? It becomes like a starting religions. Oh, I learned this internal, then I become internal of my Wing Chun SLT sets. Or I modify this, I modify this. Well, I have no idea what I'm sharing today. And again, I'm just a messenger. Well, you should admit this, okay, because I expect that. Because these days, everybody like to be internal and so forth, and of course I present this, people are going to shoot at me. But what is the result? And anybody want result, we know now there is a scientific way, heart rate variability, and your breathing rate. You will tell the truth of what is going on. So this is to share with you today.